Hello, BookTube. I've already made 3 very long videos today, but I want to make just a short one because there are a couple of mail packages, and I'm curious to know what's in them. So I want to just go through them. It's on a Sunday, but these were delivered late at night. So let's see what the first one is here. Okay, the first one is something I requested. This seemed really interesting. This is by Anne Youngson, and it's called The Narrowboat Summer. This is the author of Meet Me at the Museum. A lot of you may know that book. It was very enjoyable. And let's see here. This is a charming novel of second chances about 3 women, 1 dog, and the narrowboat that brings them together. And the narrowboat is a lifestyle. It's a whole lifestyle. You can see a million videos of it on YouTube of people who buy a narrowboat and just live on the vast interconnected network of English locks and lakes and canals. Seems fascinating to me. And it's also fascinating just geometrically, because you have to structure your whole life around something that's only 6 feet wide, but that's 30 feet long. Anyway, let's see here. Meet Eve, who has left her 30-year career to become a free spirit. Sally, who has waved goodbye to her indifferent husband and 2 grown-up children. And Anastasia, a defiantly independent narrowboat dweller who is suddenly landlocked and vulnerable. Before they quite know what they've done, Sally and Eve agree to drive Anastasia's narrowboat and her mischievous dog Noah on a journey through the canals of England, as Anastasia awaits a life-saving operation. As they glide gently, and not so gently, through the countryside, the eccentricities and challenges of narrowboat life draw them inexorably together, and a tender and unlikely friendship grows. I think that sounds fantastic, not least because I find the whole life interesting. I was introduced to it by a YouTuber, Alex Day, who was disgraced and has fallen out of favor and now makes videos only for his patrons on Patreon, so he doesn't do general purpose videos. And his life has taken many turns since he was one of the most popular YouTubers in the country, in the world. And one of the turns, one of the periods in his young life was a period where he and his girlfriend were on a narrowboat. And they were making videos, and I got to watch them. It was my introduction to the whole subject. Utterly fascinating. We'll see. I mean, that'll make this book interesting to me anyway, even if it's not well done. But I remember Meet Me at the Museum as being quite well done. So probably I don't have that to worry about. So this would be really good. I don't have a date for you because I don't have a pub sheet, but I believe this is February or late January, something like that. You have to look it up. But if it interests you, this is a lovely thing too. If it interests you, probably it's going to be worth your while. I will report back. Then we have one more envelope here. My phone is telling me that it's dying, and considering the marathon I put it through, I don't doubt that. All right, this next one is another novel. This is by Francisco Goldman, and it is called Monkey Boy. Again, no pub sheet, but that's all right. We'll make do. Oh no, or maybe we won't, because the back only has blurbs. The back only has blurbs. Okay, the information here is... So this is Francisco Goldman's first novel since his widely acclaimed, nationally best-selling Say Her Name. Our narrator, Francisco Goldberg. Our narrator, Francisco Goldberg, an American writer who probably has one previous novel that was well received, has been living and working in Mexico City as a journalist for over a decade. I wonder if Francisco Goldman has been working in Mexico City as a journalist for over a decade. And has recently returned to New York City in hopes of going home again. I wonder if I'm hoping to go home again is on Francisco Goldman's social media. It's been 5 years since the end of his last relationship, and he is falling in love with a new woman. Soon, though, he is beckoned back to Boston by his former high school girlfriend who was witness to his greatest youthful humiliations, and his Guatemalan mother, Yolanda, around whom his story orbits like a dark star. Well, that's well done. That's well put. Backdropping this 5-day trip to his childhood home is the specter of Frank's recent deceased father, Bert, an immigrant from Ukraine who was volcanically tempered, pathologically abusive, and yet also at times infuriatingly endearing, as well as the high school bullies who gave him the moniker Monkey Boy. Okay, so the pub sheet here that comes right out and calls this autofiction says that it's a new masterpiece of autobiographical fiction from one of the most important American voices in the last 40 years. I'm going to have to put up, I'm going to have to make my peace with autofiction because it's here to stay. It's the fad of the moment. And I guess it can be done well. It has been done well in the past, long before it was called autofiction. So I'll give Monkey Boy a try. And this has a date. This is early May, so it's a ways away. And certainly this example of autofiction sounds interesting. I'll just make a point of not learning anything about the author. That's all. I'll just live through the book. and have a ready response for people who say, well, you know, that actually happened, so you can't criticize it. That's my main complaint about autofiction, is that it partially attempts to critic-proof the book by making that some sort of fallback. Well, you can't call this plot development unrealistic because it really happened. Because the whole thing is autofiction. The whole thing is intensely mimeographed from real life. Well, okay. All right, it's not a novel. And it's still not a defense. You still have to write it. It still has to be narratively compelling. But maybe this author doesn't do that. I seem to recall that the previous book was good. So we have two examples here where I think the author has been in my good graces already. So two works of fiction, probably both heavily autofiction, as a kind of unexpected Sunday mail haul. Keep this nice and brief because the other videos have been long. I will wrap this up, but I will be back. Thank you, BookTube.